Hey, all you demon hunters and barbarians and whatnot out there. Welcome to the newest episode of Blizzplanet.com's Diablo dialogue, even though really it's just a monologue. It's just me talking to you. But anyway, as always, I'm your host, the bearded gamer, Chris Arnone. Now, last week we asked you all, what improvements do you want to see Blizzard put in place in the auction house? Here's some of your best answers. So thanks for the comments, everybody. Good times. Now let's get into the weekly news roundup.
Stay a while and listen.
So this week there's really just one really big piece of news to talk about, something we're going to talk about kind of quite a bit, really, and that is Mike Morhaime's letter to all of the Diablo 3 players out there. Now, just going to sort of summarize a little bit here. He said it's no secret that, that there's been a lot of problems with D3, a lot of criticism about Diablo 3. Currently, the Metacritic user score is about a 3.8, which 2 months plus out, I mean, getting pretty close to 3 months, well, yeah, a little more than 2 months out at this point. That's really pretty low. I mean, you're used to some kind of crazy numbers when a game first comes out, but then it usually finds its way to the middle or where it's supposed to be. Still pretty low. A lot of people that are very frustrated with the game right now, and he recognizes that. He acknowledges that the Diablo 3 launch was not perfect, and the game at this point is still not perfect. Now, patch 1.0.4 is going to buff some legendary items, make it much more appealing to people, and they're also going to try to build diversity in the game by buffing a lot of skills that people don't use very much. That's something they talked about way early on, is there's no ideal build for any of the classes. So they want to make sure that however you want to make your character, it can be effective and it can be competitive and it can, just rage through the inferno. So they're going to try to fix that a little bit. And then at 1.1 won't just be the PvP add-on. It'll also bring changes to the auction house and to the social structure of Diablo 3. And of course he acknowledges that the end game does need some help. The item hunt isn't enough at this point. So first off, we're going to start off with Eldorian's take on this whole thing. And I said, what key takeaway here is that Blizzard is listening, and they want to improve, and these improvements will not happen overnight. And of course, if you read this thing, it's nothing new to those of us who have been paying a lot of attention, who have been reading Blizzplanet, who pay attention to the Battle.net forums, who read the patch notes. This is all kind of like, yeah, we know this. You've been paying attention. You've been trying to make patches and updates based on the problems that we are seeing and complaining about. He thinks that the auction house is truly what's at fault. Now, maybe it's not ruining the game, but it gets the perception that Blizzard is really pushing this to make extra money on top of that initial $60 investment that you made. And the item hunt is just not fun, and that's really reinforcing people's feelings toward the auction house. Now, he says Blizzard has never released a perfect game. In fact, in his opinion, Diablo 2 sucked until the Lord of Destruction expansion came out. He said World of Warcraft wasn't perfect, StarCraft wasn't perfect, but what Blizzard does, what these are examples of, is Blizzard keeps working. They keep hacking away at it. They keep hammering away, making fixes, putting out patches until they've made a brilliant game. Now, my take on it might be a little more gruff, which is, what were you all expecting, really? The number of people who I've heard, well, I got a couple level 60s, I've beaten Inferno once, I've played a bit with all the characters, and it's just not fun to me anymore. You've played like 100, 150 hours at this point, and now it's not fun. What was it the other, centennial of hours that you were playing? Was it, just the bee's knees. I mean, you still played all that much. And to me, for the vast majority of $60 games that I go buy, I can't get 100 hours worth of fun out of them. That's really rare. I mean, that's why when I wrote for VG Charts, value is a big part of our core score, because there's so many games that don't even try to offer you that. When I played Homefront, the story was 4 hours long. And now, it took me like 18 hours to beat it the first time around, Diablo 3. So you've got multiple characters at level 60 and whatnot. It's like they've made a good game. It just seems like everyone was expecting the sun, the moon, and the stars. Okay, Diablo 3 was not the second coming of Christ. It was a good game. It's not supposed to change your life, and that's okay. And I think it's great that Blizzard is listening, and they're tweaking, and they're trying to make the game better and better and better and bring people back in and keep them playing for a long period of time. But my advice, do you not like it? Go away. Stop playing it. Come back a few patches later. It'll be like a different experience altogether. In the meantime, stop complaining so much. But that's what I think. All right, we'll end with a question. Okay, as we often do, and we'll highlight the best answers next week. What are your thoughts on Mike Morhaime's letter? Or are you just really angry with what I just said? But anyway, Mike Morhaime's letter, what are your thoughts on it? Do you agree with him? Do you disagree with him? Do you think it's just kind of rehashing what's already been said? If you've really been paying attention, let us know in the comments. We'll highlight the best ones next week right here on the show. And while you're on YouTube, why don't you check out The Bearded Gamer Show? It's all kinds of beardy awesomeness, Dota 2 video games, me ranting and raving about all sorts of things. That's fun, right? And of course, go to Blizzplanet.com. All the news, reviews, a fantastic community, everything you need to know about Blizzard Entertainment games. See you next time.